Hello, Serge here from the back porch. I'd like to start this daily off with making a comment about something I read on the blog that someone wrote in the other day, and I can see them saying it because it doesn't look right. And I mean, he asked me to take off my hat and to take off my sunglasses, and that's difficult for me to do when I'm outside. If it's really sunny, and even right now, I'm in the shade pretty good. As you can see, I have trees overhanging me, and the sun is yet still about right about where I'm pointing over there, so it won't be directly over this porch for about another hour or two, and yet I can barely keep my eyes open. I have what is called a photophobia, or am what is called a photophobia, and Wikipedia describes that as an abnormal intolerance to visual perception of light, sometimes defined as actual physical photosensitivity of the eyes. And basically, when I'm outside and the sun is out, it's very difficult. I can't keep my eyes open. In all the years that we've been shooting videos, that every time I get out there with, especially a new cameraman or whatever, they're always saying, "Take your glasses off. You know, you got to see. We got to see your eyes." I can't do it when it's especially sunny out. I can't keep my eyes open. I'm squinting all the time, and my right eye is always completely closed, and the left one's barely open. And in most cases, if I'm out in the sunlight, I can't. The sunglasses are not enough. I need the visor over my glasses to keep out the sun from going in the tops of my glasses. I'm extremely sensitive to fluorescent lights like that, like you see those at stores really lit up during the daytime. Many times I go in there and I'm squinting there if I don't have my glasses on. So I got extreme sensitivity to sunlight, and basically the only way I can survive out in the sunlight, especially if I'm playing golf, is to be wearing sunglasses. And I've done many public service announcements about the effects that being in the sunlight too much can have for you. And somebody responded saying that, you know, the Serge is a teacher and he's out in the sun a lot, and all the optometrists and the optometric societies or whatever are telling folks that if you spend a lot of time out in the sun, you should be wearing sunglasses to protect your eyes from the sun, the UV rays, everything else, and it helps reduce cataracts as you get older. And so it's only the smart thing to do to keep the sun out of your eyes, just as it is to wear sunscreen and keep the sun from burning your skin. And so with that said, let's get into today's lesson. And this comes from Fair Chance. And Fair Chance says, "Hi Serge, still hitting my irons great, straight or slight fade, but recently my driver is fading way too much and sometimes a nasty slice. Videos show that I am not in a sacred burial ground, but I'm still coming over the top and can't stop it. Any drills to get this straightened out?" Well, there are a few drills, but it also might be the fact of Fair Chance that you need to pay attention to what's starting your downswing. I guess the drill I always use all the time is basically called skipping a rock on a lake. I just get up here and I skip the rock. And you notice that when you skip a rock, because you want the rock to come out low and level, that your lower body starts first, and you skip it out and you throw the rock straight out over there. But you have everything transferring from your back leg to your forward leg, and as you notice, your hips are going first so that your spine stays back and your head stays back. And what's my Sergism for good impact? If you want to hit the ball straight to a little draw, the head can never ever move left until after impact. And so you might, more than anything, just be having a timing problem where from the top of your swing, you're just starting with your shoulders, and your arms are getting too forward. If you're starting your downswing, even though it's supposed to start with the lower body, if you're starting it by your hip turning and your leg straightening, which is usually a high probability of aiming to the right. In other words, this is set up, these lines are set up for me to swing at the camera, basically, but if I'm aiming like this, and I'm trying to, even if I start with my lower body, I'll hit the ball a mile to the right, I have to turn. So those are a couple issues. And again, I've always liked the concept of skipping a rock. But right after Fair Chance put his blog question in there, Steve Smith came out with one, and he said, "I use a different approach with the driver than I had been using. After I hit some of the longest and straightest drives that I've hit in 2 years, the different approach isn't even much, but it was actually amazing the difference it made in the smoothness of the swing and also club speed. All I really did different was, instead of thinking of side-arm motion like skipping a rock, which works great on my irons, I used the motion more like a submarine pitcher," Dan Quisenberry in parentheses. "It's funny, but as soon as I did it actually last night, it felt exactly like I used to swing 2 or 3 years ago when I really could hit the driver well, but didn't have a clue how I was doing it. I don't know for sure what it looks like, but it feels as if I have much more lag. Drops inside the shot at the start of the downswing, but it's accelerating at impact much more. I think what Steve Smith is saying, that skipping a rock seems to work great with the irons, but the thought of the sidearm pitcher, and I remember when I was a kid pitching, I used to throw a sidearm and you really come down and under more, because in many cases as you throw it from here, it'll actually maybe rise a little bit. So what's really the difference between the skip rock move and the sidearm pitcher? I'm just driving my right side down a little bit more, which is keeping me back a little more. I'm getting a lot more tilt to my shoulders on the way down, and I'm still making the same basic motion through there, but my hands are coming down even a little bit lower. All right. So what's the key there? The key there is that with a longer club, and because the club is longer and has more length and more weight and acceleration in the swing, as I start down, very likely with a driver, you have to be a little bit farther behind the ball at impact, because you got a longer club to straighten out. Now naturally the ball's more forward, which gives the club more time to straighten out and the arms to straighten out. But the key is that Steve Smith found a way that gave him an increased feeling through the visualization of a sidearm underarm pitcher versus just skipping the rock. And so I commend him on that, in that he's awakening his mind to try to get his mind to feel and sense things that help him hit the different, make swings. And in this case, he found out that he needed a different swing, a more, I guess we could say, exaggerated down and under move with a driver, and it really helped him hit the ball better. So I think the key is, if you're coming over the top, either you're out of sequence, shoulder starting first, or the fact that maybe there's a high probability it's your alignment causing a problem, and or starting with a turn rather than the lateral left bump. Okay? But either way, I think you're going to find that with the driver you'll need a little bit more. So I like Steve's idea of going from the skipping rocks to the underarm pitch. So you get that a little bit more of the spine going back, the head going back, and as soon as you're swinging up, you notice the kind of like Kama look, where the head goes back a little and pops right up, because as soon as we bump, we're swinging up and standing up AFAP, like a Pop-Tart. And so the head will be back and popping up, what I call the dipsy doodle of the head. So work on that, and if you don't feel like skipping rocks is giving you enough of that staying behind the ball to impact so the arms can straighten out and popping up, then think about that sidearm pitcher. I think it's a great idea, another great thought. So keep your minds open, keep thinking, and keep trying to figure out things and thoughts that make, and visions in your mind that help you swing better, to do the moves you want to make. And you'll start hitting it more solid, straight, and longer, and that's what playing good golf is all about. Well, that's it from The Search for today, and I'll be talking to y'all again soon.